So in today's video, we're going to talk about the apple trials that we did in 2025. In 2025, we saw not only that we had a heavier apple, so ultimately juicier, but also a sweeter apple. And we've started to get questions on how am I going to do that in 2026? And while you can absolutely introduce to an established plant, in this video, we're actually going to talk about bare root planting and how we can take advantage of that. For those of you that are currently in Buffalo or in other regions that are sitting in snow, this is not the time to do bare root planting. You do not want to be planting in frozen soil, and you do not want to plant in a waterlogged soil. But for more of the folks that follow us in the southern part of the United States in warmer areas, I know you are absolutely starting to do planting. And for all those of you that are like me and daydreaming, you're also thinking about planting. So let's talk about bare root planting. Bare root planting for fruit trees, roses, different bushes is exactly that. They are firstly and foremost very cheap, but you get an incredible diversity of different plants for you to choose from as a bare root. They are literally bare. They come in bags, not in pots. And there is an advantage to bare root planting, which is that plant that you purchase is dormant. There are no leaves on it. And when you put it into the soil, it's going to wake up in its new home. And that really helps with transplant shock. Oh my goodness, it's cold. So how do you go about doing this? As part of bare root planting, you're going to use a bucket and you're going to soak that plant for 2 to 4 hours. That is a perfect opportunity to introduce Bbas. It will then wake up at the same time as your plant. We have these minis, they're really handy. They do 3 gallons, which is just about your bucket size, right? So get a mini, put it into the water and let your plant soak. Let Bbas get into those roots as the water is pulled up into the plant. Then bury your plant like you always do. Mulch, fertilizer, all the things that your nursery and garden guides tell you to do. And then take the water from your bucket and go ahead and dump it around the tree as that first watering. And that excess of Bbas will then be introduced and soaked through the soil and get into the roots as well. So you can take full advantage of that. Finally, these young plants really rely on those roots thoroughly establishing themselves. As we've talked about, Bbas will absolutely help with that root establishment. But another thing that's very important is just hydration. So for that first year, get a rain gauge. Get something that you can tell exactly how much water your tree is getting or your bush is getting so that those roots really establish themselves strong and that plant kicks off its first year in its new home strong. If you're like me, you're starting to think through that garden and everything you're going to be doing. And if you're in the more southern places, you're actually doing it. So I hope this video helps and happy growing.